Module 2. Principles and Dynamics of Leadership and Organizational Behavior in Educational Administration. Leadership sustainability in educational administration is inherently fragile, requiring a deep understanding of organizational behavior's foundations. Effective administration depends on principles like the scalar principle and the exception principle, which ensure clarity and flexibility within hierarchical structures. Sound administrative principles guide decision-making and align with systems theory, framing the school as an open system interacting with its environment. Organizational citizenship behavior plays a critical role in minimizing role conflict and ambiguity, fostering collaboration. The mechanical nature of some organizations highlights the importance of balancing structure with adaptability. Distinguishing between theory of action and theory of practice bridges strategic intent with practical implementation. The fragility of leadership sustainability. Sustainability in leadership is a vital component of organizational success, yet longitudinal research often highlights its absence. This lack of sustainability arises from a complex interplay of factors, including evolving organizational dynamics, individual challenges faced by leaders, and the broader societal context within which leadership operates. One significant contributor is the pace of change in modern organizations. Rapid technological advancements, shifting market demands, and fluctuating economic conditions place relentless pressure on leaders to adapt continuously. Many leaders find themselves unable to maintain consistent performance in the face of these demands, leading to burnout and eventual disengagement. Furthermore, organizations frequently fail to provide the necessary resources or support structures, such as leadership training, mentorship, and clear succession planning that could foster long-term effectiveness. On an individual level, many leaders grapple with the emotional and cognitive toll of their roles. The expectation to navigate complex challenges while meeting the diverse needs of stakeholders can lead to decision fatigue and diminished well-being. Leadership roles often require a delicate balance of vision, decisiveness, and empathy, and when leaders are not equipped with strategies to manage these demands, their ability to sustain their leadership diminishes. Broader societal factors also influence the sustainability of leadership. Cultural shifts in expectations for transparency, accountability, and inclusivity mean that leaders must navigate an increasingly scrutinized landscape. While these shifts are often positive, they can amplify the demands placed on leaders, requiring them to address issues that extend far beyond traditional organizational goals. Foundations of organizational behavior. Organizational behavior, OB, is a multidisciplinary field that examines how individuals, groups, and structures interact within organizations to shape behavior and outcomes. Its knowledge base, theory, and methods of inquiry are deeply rooted in the social sciences, particularly psychology, sociology, anthropology, and economics, as well as management and organizational studies. These disciplines provide the theoretical and empirical foundations that guide OB's exploration of workplace dynamics. Psychology contributes significantly to OB by providing insights into individual behavior, motivation, learning, and personality. Theories such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Hertzberg's two-factor theory help explain what drives individuals to act in specific ways within organizational contexts. Sociology broadens the focus to examine group behavior, social structures, and intergroup dynamics, exploring how organizations function as social systems. From anthropology, OB draws on cultural studies to understand how values, beliefs, and rituals influence workplace behavior, particularly in a globalized environment where cultural diversity is increasingly relevant. Economics adds a perspective on decision-making, resource allocation, and the behavior of organizations in market contexts, offering tools for analyzing efficiency and incentives. Management theories integrate these insights to address practical issues such as leadership, conflict resolution, and organizational change. The methods of inquiry in OB are equally diverse, blending quantitative techniques like surveys and statistical analysis with qualitative methods such as interviews and case studies. This mixed methods approach allows researchers to capture the complexity of human behavior in organizational settings. Longitudinal studies and experiments are often used to test theories and explore causality. The scalar principle in educational administration. The scalar principle is a fundamental concept in organizational management that emphasizes the importance of a clear chain of command within an institution. This principle asserts that there should be a well-defined line of authority from the top leadership to the lowest levels of the organizational hierarchy. Each individual in the structure is accountable to their immediate superior, ensuring that instructions, decisions, and feedback flow smoothly through a predictable and transparent chain. In the context of educational administration, the scalar principle is pivotal for maintaining order, consistency, and effective communication within schools, colleges, and other academic institutions. Educational systems, by their nature, are complex organizations comprising administrators, teachers, support staff, and students. To function effectively, these systems require a clear structure of authority and responsibility. The scalar principle helps delineate this structure, ensuring that all members of the institution understand their roles, to whom they report, and who reports to them. For instance, in a school, the principal serves as the top administrator, overseeing vice principals, department heads, and teachers. The scalar principle ensures that decisions and policies from the school board or principal are conveyed to teachers through this chain of command, avoiding confusion or miscommunication. Similarly, feedback or concerns from teachers can travel upward through the same channels, promoting accountability and systematic problem solving. The exception principle in educational administration. The exception principle is a foundational concept in management that emphasizes the need for administrators to focus their attention on significant issues that deviate from expected outcomes rather than routine matters. This principle operates on the understanding that not every detail requires the direct involvement of leadership. Instead, administrators should concentrate their efforts on exceptions, situations where processes, performance, or outcomes significantly diverge from the norm or established goals. In educational administration, the exception principle plays a critical role in maintaining organizational efficiency and addressing challenges effectively. Educational institutions, such as schools and districts, are complex systems with multiple layers of decision-making. Teachers, support staff, and middle managers handle routine operations, allowing administrators to focus on areas that require strategic intervention. By delegating routine tasks and monitoring only those that exceed defined thresholds of concern, administrators can devote their energy to issues that have the potential to impact the institution's objectives. For example, if a school's standardized test scores suddenly decline, this constitutes an exception that warrants the principal's immediate attention. Conversely, regular classroom management issues may be resolved at the teacher level without escalating to the administration. By applying the exception principle, educational leaders can prioritize their time and resources on significant deviations, such as addressing systemic inequities, improving underperforming programs, or responding to external crises like funding shortages. This principle also supports the development of accountability within the institution. By defining clear standards and expectations, staff can operate autonomously within their roles, knowing when to escalate matters. In this way, the exception principle not only enhances administrative efficiency, but also empowers educators to take ownership of their responsibilities while ensuring that critical issues receive the necessary attention. Through its application, educational administrators can navigate the complexities of modern education with focus and agility. Principles of sound administration and their relevance to educational administration. Mary Parker Follett, a pioneer in the fields of management and administration, emphasized human relationships and collaborative processes as the foundation for effective administration. Her principles, rooted in democratic ideals and social psychology, prioritize integration, coordination, and mutual respect. Follett argued that administration is not merely about issuing commands, but about fostering cooperation among individuals to achieve common goals. These principles have profound implications for educational administration, where the dynamics of leadership involve engaging diverse stakeholders to create a thriving learning environment. Follett's focus on integration highlights the importance of finding solutions that consider the perspectives of all involved parties. In educational administration, this translates into fostering collaboration among teachers, parents, students, and the wider community. Instead of imposing decisions, educational leaders can adopt an integrative approach, encouraging dialogue and participation to develop policies and practices that serve the collective needs of the school. Coordination, another key principle, underscores the need for seamless communication and alignment of efforts. In educational settings, administrators must ensure that all parts of the system, curriculum design, teacher training, student support, and resource allocation, work in harmony. This requires creating structures and processes that promote synergy, such as professional learning communities and cross-departmental collaboration. Follett's emphasis on mutual respect and the human element in administration resonates deeply with the ethos of education. Recognizing the individuality and potential of every teacher and student aligns with her belief that effective administration involves nurturing relationships and empowering individuals. Understanding systems theory in educational administration. Systems theory is a conceptual framework that views organizations, including educational institutions, as complex, interrelated systems. This perspective emphasizes the interconnectedness of various components within an organization and the way these components interact to achieve overarching goals. In the context of educational administration, systems theory offers a holistic approach to understanding how schools function and how administrators can effectively manage them. At its core, systems theory suggests that every part of a system plays a role in its overall functioning. For schools, these parts include students, teachers, administrators, parents, community stakeholders, curricula, resources, and policies. Each component influences and is influenced by the others, creating a dynamic network of relationships. The success of the educational system depends on maintaining balance and coordination among these elements, ensuring that changes in one area do not negatively impact others. Feedback loops are a central concept in systems theory and are critical for maintaining system equilibrium. Positive feedback loops amplify change, which can lead to growth or instability, while negative feedback loops stabilize the system by counteracting deviations. For example, in educational administration, feedback from student performance assessments can guide instructional strategies, which in turn affect student outcomes, creating a cycle of continuous improvement. Systems theory also highlights the importance of adaptability in educational administration. Schools operate within broader environments influenced by societal, economic, and political factors. Administrators must anticipate and respond to external changes, ensuring that the system remains effective and resilient. By viewing challenges and opportunities through a systems lens, educational leaders can implement strategies that promote harmony and sustainability within the school community. The school as an open system and its relation to educational administration. A school operates as an open system, interconnected with its environment and dependent on continuous interactions with external factors. Unlike closed systems, which function independently of their surroundings, schools thrive through the exchange of resources, ideas, and influences with the broader community. This dynamic nature shapes the framework of educational administration, emphasizing adaptability, collaboration, and responsiveness to change. As an open system, a school interacts with multiple stakeholders, including students, parents, teachers, government agencies, and the local community. These interactions bring in resources such as funding, policies, cultural expectations, and societal values, that directly influence the school's functioning. Educational administration plays a critical role in managing these inputs effectively, ensuring they align with the school's mission and goals. Administrators must interpret state mandates, respond to community concerns, and implement policies that cater to diverse needs while maintaining the school's operational integrity. The outputs of a school as an open system, such as educated students, cultural enrichment, and contributions to societal well-being, further reinforce its connection to the external environment. Feedback loops, where the outcomes of education inform future decision-making, are essential to the system's sustainability. Educational administrators act as mediators in this process, assessing outcomes and making necessary adjustments to curriculum, teaching methods, and resource allocation. Organizational citizenship behavior and its impact on role conflict and role ambiguity in educational administration. Organizational citizenship behavior, OCB, refers to discretionary actions by individuals that go beyond their formal job requirements, contributing to the overall effectiveness of an organization. While OCB is generally viewed as beneficial, it can inadvertently lead to role conflict and role ambiguity, especially within the complex structures of educational administration. Role conflict occurs when an individual faces incompatible demands from different aspects of their responsibilities, leading to tension and stress. In educational settings, administrators often engage in OCB by taking on additional tasks such as mentoring staff, participating in extracurricular activities, or supporting community events. While these actions demonstrate commitment, they can create a conflict between fulfilling their core duties, such as policy enforcement and academic oversight, and meeting the expectations associated with their voluntary contributions. The added workload and competing priorities can strain their ability to perform effectively in all areas, leading to dissatisfaction and burnout. Role ambiguity, on the other hand, arises when an individual's responsibilities and expectations are unclear. OCB can blur the boundaries of formal roles in educational administration, as administrators who frequently go beyond their prescribed duties may create confusion among staff about their actual job scope. For instance, when an administrator consistently handles tasks outside their official role, it may lead others to misunderstand the limits of their authority or responsibilities, resulting in miscommunication and inefficiencies. The nature of mechanical organizations and their relevance to educational administration. Organizations can often be categorized as either mechanical or organic in their structure and operations. A mechanical organization is characterized by a rigid, hierarchical framework where roles, responsibilities, and processes are clearly defined and strictly adhered to. These organizations thrive on formalized procedures, centralized authority, and predictable outcomes. They operate much like a well-oiled machine, with each component functioning within predefined parameters to ensure the overall system achieves its objectives efficiently. In the context of educational administration, mechanical organizations might be likened to traditional school systems that rely heavily on standardized policies and practices. Rules govern everything, from curriculum design to teacher evaluation, creating a highly structured environment. Decision-making in such organizations often flows from top to bottom, leaving little room for deviation or innovation. While this approach can ensure consistency and accountability, it may also stifle creativity and adaptability, which are increasingly vital in today's dynamic educational landscape. The relevance of mechanical structures in education lies in their ability to maintain order and deliver uniform outcomes across diverse settings. For example, large school districts often adopt mechanical principles to ensure every student receives an equitable education regardless of location. However, these systems may falter in addressing unique challenges, such as cultural diversity or rapidly changing technological demands, where a more flexible and responsive approach would be beneficial. Understanding the difference between theory of action and theory of practice. The concepts of theory of action and theory of practice are essential frameworks for understanding how individuals, particularly leaders, think and behave in complex situations. While related, these concepts differ in their focus and application. A theory of action refers to the explicit or implicit assumptions and principles that guide decisions and behaviors to achieve specific outcomes. It is a roadmap that connects intentions with actions, offering a logical explanation of why a particular approach should work in a given context. For instance, a school principal who believes that collaborative teaching improves student performance may implement professional learning communities, PLCs, as part of their theory of action. By fostering teamwork among teachers, the principal expects better lesson planning, shared expertise, and improved student outcomes. This framework allows the leader to align actions with desired results while continuously assessing progress and making adjustments. In contrast, a theory of practice focuses on the lived experience, habits, and tacit knowledge that shape how individuals respond to real-world situations. It emphasizes the practical and often intuitive methods developed through experience rather than explicit planning. For example, a manager who has handled numerous conflict resolution scenarios may develop an instinctive approach to mediating disputes among team members. This theory of practice is not formally documented, but evolves as a repertoire of strategies grounded in past successes and failures. Leaders use both concepts in complementary ways. A theory of action helps leaders plan and justify their strategies, offering a clear rationale for their initiatives. A theory of practice, however, allows them to adapt and respond effectively to unforeseen challenges by drawing on accumulated wisdom. Together, these frameworks enable leaders to combine deliberate planning with adaptive problem-solving, fostering both strategic focus and resilience in dynamic environments.